Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. We are doing Checkpoint 8B problems. They're towards the back of the book. And remember how checkpoint problems work. Okay, they're the problems that the book has sort of decided are very important. Okay, so on page 497, it starts with, it says Checkpoint 8B. And it shows you how to do some of these problems, even with some visual clues, right? And it shows you how to use the magic wand, stuff like that. How to divide with decimals outside the box. Remember, watch out for the math police. Okay. And it shows you how to, it also shows you some examples and where to go find some more of those problems. It goes through all the checkpoint problems that you've already done as part of homework. And then it lists usually about 20 problems. And after you're done with those 20 problems, well, guess what? It has the 20 answers. Okay. So when we do this, we don't want to get to sort of cave into the temptation of, hey, the answer's right there. I'm going to write the answers, right? If you list an answer sheet and turn that in for homework, then you get very, very few points, like 2 out of 9 or something. It's not the answers we're concerned with. It's ensuring that you know how to do it. So when you do these, show your work is hugely important on any assignment where you have been given the answers. The answers are there not for you to cheat, but for to check your work. Okay, so make sure you're doing that. Okay, now Robert Zimmerman, who's that? Well, those rock and roll fans or even folk music fans, aka that's also known as Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan was a folk songwriter in the 60s and turned into, a lot of people consider him, sort of a folksy rock, and wrote a lot of songs that most people will consider protest type songs. I think one of his heroes was Woody Guthrie. Okay? This is a great one here in the background. It's called Blowing in the Wind. Okay, we'll have a little bit of that in the background as we do a few of these in his honor. It's his birthday. Okay, here we go. What we got? We have 2/3 divided by 1/2. You'll notice that a part of my heading included the problems we're doing and the page number, page 498. And I also have a title, and this is dividing fractions and decimals. And in parentheses below that, I have smell my feet and watch out for the math popo, right? Math police, right? So because when we divide with fractions, we remember what the Snorts taught us, to smell my feet, right? So the SMF for smell my feet, that's just a way of remembering to keep that first fraction the same. Multiply instead of divide, because multiplying fractions is what? Easy. And instead of 1/2, I'm going to flip that second fraction. So I'm going to go 2 over 1. 2/3 times 2 over 1 is 4 over 3, which is 1 and 1/3. I'm going to put a box around my answer and a box around all my work. Okay, and I'm going to number 2. Number 2, it says 5/6 divided by 3/4. Again, dividing fractions. We're going to go with the Miss Nort's smell my feet. Leave that first number the same. Don't mess with it. It's easier if you don't mess with it. Leave it the same anyway. Instead of divide, I'm going to, M stands for multiply. Why? Because multiplying fractions is easy. And that second fraction, I'm going to flip. Okay, now I can cross cancel a little bit, make this a little easier beforehand. If I said 2 goes into 4 and 6, top and bottom, it goes into 4 twice, goes into 6 3 times. Then I have 5 times 2 on top, 3 times 3 on the bottom. 10/9 is the same as 1 whole and 1/9. Box around my answer, box around all my work, boom, done. Now, if I had not simplified before I started cross-canceled, I'd have 5 times 4 on top, that's 20, and 6 times 3 on the bottom. And then I would simplify that and say 2 goes into 20 10 times and 2 goes into 18 9 times, same thing. Okay? Now, I don't want to keep doing all the fractions. I want to make sure that we do a couple of the dividing with decimals. Okay, so number 3 is one of those, 14.3 divided by 8. So again, the first number goes inside the box. Now, if there's a decimal inside the box, all you have to do, watch, bring it up, and then divide. That's all you have to do if there's a decimal inside the box. Outside the box, it's trickier, okay? So 8 goes into 14 one time, and I go 1 times 8 is 8. I subtract. What do I do now? Bring down that next number. Oh man, don't you wish that was a 4? 8 goes into 63 7 times. That's 56. And I'm going to subtract. I'm going to add a 0, bring it down. Now, 8 goes into 78 times. That's 64. Subtract. I'm going to add another 0. 8 goes into 67 times. That's 56. I subtract. Add another 0. And 8 goes into 40. Perfect. Right? Now, I want to double check that it doesn't say to round these. Okay, when I'm looking at the directions, there's nowhere where it says to go ahead and round these. So I went out, okay, 4 places, right? The 10,000th place on that one. Sometimes you're going to have to do what you're going to have to do. Box around your answer. Box around all your work for that problem. On to number 4. Okay. All right. See, I keep this on the screen. 4/7 divided by 3/5. Now that's just a typical fraction where you're going to smell my feet. I'm going to leave that one for you. Okay. Number 5. 132 hundredths divided by 24. And again, I'm going to rewrite that for you. And do all the steps that you have to follow before you divide if there's a decimal inside the box. Boom, done. And leave that for you. Now, 6 is the example that I want to go over at least one of these, right? 1 32 divided by 32, thousandths. Let's just rewrite that. 1.32 divided by 0.032. Now the first number goes in the box, second number outside the box, and this is when you hear that noise. No, it's not Bob Dylan. It's woo, 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 right? I cannot divide with that decimal outside the box. I have to get rid of it. No, you can't erase it. To get rid of it, you got to move it over to the right all the way. Now I had to go 1, 2, 3 spots. If you go 3 spots outside the box, you got to go 3 spots inside the box. In this case, I got to fill in that egg carton. Right? Now, look at that problem. Raise your hand if you're smart. If you were smart, what would you do right here? If you were smart, you would spend another 4 or 5 seconds rewriting the problem. How long did that take? Not long at all. Okay? So now we have 32 into 1,320. 32 into 132 is about 4 times, right? 4 times 30 is 120. So I'm going to go 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. I subtract, I get a 4. What do I do now? Bring down the next number. 32 goes into 40 only 1 time. Now, what do I do now? I got a remainder. I'm going to add a decimal, bring it up, add a 0, bring it down. 32 goes into that twice, because that's 64. And guess what happens next? Bring down another 0, and now it's a perfect fit. 32 goes into 160 5 times. So answer is 41 25 hundredths. Box around your answer, big box around all your work. And I believe that gives you enough to get started on this. I've already done 4 of the problems. 4 out of 20. 4 out of 20, that's like 1 out of 5. That is 20%. I did 20% of the problems for you. Okay, you go finish. All right, have a great Monday, everybody. Last Monday of the school year. How did that happen?